So we are all ready for the fourth match between Chennai and Rajasthan.
Ending absolutely beautiful in this.
As always, is the predictable nature of this tournament. Rajasthan will bat first, with Chennai winning the toss and saying that we will bowl first. But this strategy has backfired in the last two matches. We saw Bangalore defending 160 against
It's
Hyderabad.
1930.
Well, maybe this strategy will again backfire. But who knows what will happen. I have no idea what will exactly happen, but win the toss, bowl first, the strategy of the tournament with another hero of the Junior World Cup, Jaiswal making his domestic debut. Another interesting point. So many individuals from the Under-19 World Cup are selected. This has not happened. This has happened for the upteenth time that individuals from the Junior World Cup are immediately selected without much thought. So, slip, point, cover, extra cover, deep extra cover as the fielding positions, as Chahar bowls through. Well, they're still waiting. Something is wrong. They haven't started officially. So smartly, Steve Smith is opening with a 19-year-old from India. Let's see what happens. Steve Smith is going to play that typical word that is used in this sport. They love using this word, sheet anchor role. Well, let's see what happens. Who will come at number 3? Maybe since there is no Butler, no Stokes, Smith had no option but to open. That's first ball bowled and it will not be a wide. So it was a good delivery, swinging outside off stump, blah, blah, blah. As Shahar gets ready for the second ball, this one, the batsman walks up, dances down the track to the bowler, and it misses, going into the hand of the fielder by just a couple of bounces. So yes, you can see that nervousness on the debutant's face. And then we have Samson as and Uttapa as the individuals. Chahar bowls his third ball. And this one is played past the slips to third man for a single, and he gets off the mark in this format. We're all aware that this tournament is that pseudo domestic tournament, as Rajasthan are now 3-0 in after 5 balls. And how will they respond? For me, once again, somewhere between 150 and 160 could be the kind of total that everyone is looking for as we get ready for the final ball of the first over. Don't be misrepresented by the slow start. This is how it goes. This one it's played straight to, and he was just missed. It was a run out chance, a single taken, a risky single taken, taking on Jadeja. End of the first over, it's 4-0. So once again, it's brother versus brother. Sam Curran for Chennai, From Curran for Rajasthan. Not surprised by what is happening. Though Sam Curran is more of, is a much better all-rounder. So he will open the innings. I was surprised they could have given it to Ngidi, but let's see. Sam Curran is the one replacing Bravo, maybe for the entirety of this tournament. This time he plays it straight to the fielder, no runs. This match is being played in Sharjah. I have been inside Sharjah. Exactly on the ground, these players are stepping their foot, and this time it's played, and this is a wide. So it's good bowling, tempting someone like Steve Smith. And how long can he resist and not play the shots? It'll be very interesting to see what happens now. We're all ready for the 8th ball of the over as Karan bowls to Smith. This time it played 2 point and still no runs. Under pressure straight away is Steve Smith. Who knows what is happening in this tournament? Slow start so far, and this time Smith plays it through the offside, but fielder there at deep cover, extra cover, and they only get 1 run. So good field placing so far in this match, though it's a long way to go. Nine balls, 6 runs, average run rate of 3 runs per over. Let's see what happens next. How much can Rajasthan get? They have to get between 150 and 160 by what has been seen in the previous 2 matches. This time it's flicked away and played, and that will be stopped at the boundary. 2 runs, square leg. A slow start by the standards of this tournament, but that's how the cookie crumbles. That's how it is supposed to be. Karan bowls his fifth ball. This time, Smith plays not able to get anywhere, and the decision to open the innings, well, it could be reflected in this match if he plays this way. Well, the loss of Butter and Stokes is forcing Smith to open. He's trying to do something which is not part of his DNA, part of his genetics, to hit sixth and fourths. Same way Kohli decides not to open. Who they could have opened with? Maybe that Uthappa. Uthappa or Sanju Samson could have been that opener's choice. But what's done is done. Now they have to live with this, and individuals like Samson, Uthappa will have to score far. This time, tries to cut, misses. Smith struggling so far, ends the over. 2 overs gone, 7 for 0. I would say you want to do something different as the first boundary of the match is scored predictably by the young opener. Can Jaiswal do what Padikkal did yesterday? Another 20-year-old hero of the Junior World Cup. Yes, India did not win the Junior World Cup, but it was short and he pulled it away nicely over the fielder's head into the square leg boundary, into the deep mid wicket boundary. Perhaps this time played away. This time it's a top edge, and this will be caught and bowled. Both the keeper and the bowler were coming across, and it's a good communication, and they get the wicket of the 14th ball of the match. The pressure was getting to the young opener. It was a good, well directed short delivery. Top edge. There could have been a lot of confusion, but in the end, sanity prevailed and a catch was taken. So Rajasthan lose Jaiswal. It's 1 for 11 after 14 balls. So now who will come at number 3? Samson versus Uthappa. A very interesting situation. Remember, no Butler, no Stokes. They are under that mandatory quarantine. In fact, but Stokes hasn't returned from his long layoff. So they are sending Samson at number 3, which means Uthappa Miller will have to play that role of hitting every ball for a 6. So how will Samson respond to this situation? I am very, very curious to see. This could, but the situation is that both Samson and Smith play in that same manner. They take the singles and they're not usually big hitters. This time play that's flicked away and he starts with a brilliantly fielded 1 run. It was threatening to go for a boundary, but it was saved. Well done. And still a slow start by Rajasthan.
It's 1945.
This time 15 minutes, 15 balls. So I think they're well on time, and this match could well finish on time or before time. As you don't have bowlers who take time to bowl their overs, they're bowling in that speed of 125, 130. So it could be one of those things. Of course, that 5 minutes will be wasted by the timeouts, which I still question the logic of having two timeouts of 2.5 minutes each. But if there's a logic to it, let's accept the fact that there's a logic. But as this tournament has progressed, the first three matches have made it very clear that get to 160 and you can defend it, no matter what pedigree the other team has. As Chahar bowls to Smith, this time he pulls that away and he gets another boundary. Good shot by Steve Smith. The second boundary of this over, he swiveled across. It was on off stump. He went outside off stump and he swiveled across and pulled it over square leg boundary for 4 runs. Of course, the controversy is about that short run, but what is done is done. My only analysis of that is that what has happened has happened. Let's not make a big deal about the short run. Let's not cry over spilt milk. This time he tried to to third man, but well scouted by Jadeja and nearly a run out. So 3 overs gone, 17 for 1. 3 overs completed in 16 minutes. So well done so far. So far the run rate is just around 5.6 runs per over. It will be very interesting as to how this match progresses, because they have to make at least 50 in the first 6 overs so that they can accelerate. If they make less than 50, between 35 and 40, then there'll be a lot of pressure on the lower order batter. This time it's flicked away and that's gone for a 6. What a shot by Steve Smith. He has decided he has to go for the shots. He has no option left and he can play the conventional shot. These are short grounds. This is a short ground Sharjah compared to the bigger grounds in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. This time he gets across and flicks it powerfully over the fielder's head, over the square leg boundary for the first 6 of this match. So because it's Ngidi who brings about pace in this situation, he bowls around 140. The pace might just help Smith, and the smaller ground will also help Steve Smith get that advantage. Let's see what happens. Next ball, he could get out, a top edge. You never know. Or Steve Smith says, I'll hit the shots whenever required. And as a typical match goes, I will try and stay till the end. This time it's played, but no runs. To mid wicket, but no runs. So as I said, if you want to get the runs, you have to score at least 50 in the first 6 overs, because then the spinners will be employed. And of course, Jadeja and Chawla will be the one who will try and put a stranglehold on this situation. But if you want to win the match, get to 160. The other team also has good enough bowler. This time it's played away A risky single taken, but well scouted single. So the run rate for the first time in this match has jumped to just around 6.5. 4 overs, 3.4 overs, 25 runs, 26 runs. So they're going at a minute per ball, 22 balls, 22 minutes. That's well done by the team. But I have seen often when it looks like they are following that over rate, suddenly something happens and they are always 10, 12 minutes behind time. But if you finish on time, you make everyone happy. Ideally, a T20 match is supposed to last for 200 minutes. 90 minutes for one team, 90 minutes for the other team, and maximum a 10-minute break. This time, Samson plays with the fielder, no runs. But this is not that ideal tournament. Observing time is not in their DNA. The match can go on for 4 hours. You can take 2 hours to finish one innings. So much time is wasted on frivolous events. And then, of course, the obsession with the timeouts. I don't understand the obsession with why do you need so many timeouts? Anyways, let's get back to the match as NGT bowls to Samson. This time he plays it away, but once again it's Jadeja over there. He saves that run. Well done. So pressure on Samson and Smith. I would have preferred sending someone like Uttapa, who just shifted from Calcutta to Rajasthan. They would have opened with someone like Samson or Uttapa. They would have sent Jaiswal at down the order, but now there is no point going back. 4 overs have been done. The decision has been taken. There must be some logic behind taking such a decision as we come to the end of the 4th over. This time that's pulled away and that will just beat the fielder, but it won't go for a boundary. It will be stopped as a dry outfield stops the ball. It's well scouted by the fielder over there, and four gone, 1 for 26. So another bowling change. Sam Curran comes back. So he will keep bringing in the changes, keep bringing in the bowlers required in the situations as we are two overs away from par from the fielding restrictions, or as is the lingo, power play, which means the batsmen have no option but to start hitting because they need at least 50 in the first 6 overs. This time it's played away and they go for a single. They have to at least score between 45 and 50 in the first 6 overs so that they can accelerate in the end, which means someone like Dian Prayag, Samson, and Miller will have to be those aggressive batters. Remember, Miller has been transferred from Punjab to Rajasthan. So this is a team which is North versus South. Can Samson also contribute to the aggressive hitting because they're going fine? It's not a slow start, but they have to start scoring this time. Gives room, misses, and another dot ball. Pressure on Samson, who played a couple of matches for India, but didn't get that acceleration. And of course, now it's a three-way between the wicket keepers in Rahul, Pant, and Samson as the wicket keepers who are going to play for the next decade. And for me, I feel that Pant and Samson are like Parthe Patel and Karthik, who were going to be the designated keepers before Dhoni stepped in. This time, this one has been guided away past the keeper, and there was a third slip, but through that vacant slip region. So a lucky shot, but that's how you play. You see the gaps, you hit the shot. It wasn't short and wide, but the batters innovated and just guides that away past Dhoni and past short third man into the boundary for 4. Now the interesting part is that this time he pulls that away and that will be a 6. So that aggressive nature has started coming in. They have decided that yes, these are the 12 balls. They have to put the racing shoes on and press the accelerator and get to that 8.5 run scoring point. So another short delivery, small boundaries. You would presume that you're playing in Delhi and not in Dubai. That's pulled away over square leg for a decent 6. So this is exactly what Samson is supposed to do, as is the nature. Smith keeps playing till the end, and Samson says, I'll do the job. This time, through point. Will this be a boundary? No, that's been saved. And they come back for a second, and they have got 12 runs of this over. A very crucial 12 runs in the context of the game, as the run rate now accelerates toward that 7.5 runs per over. Karan bowls and they take a single, good over for Rajasthan. 5 gone, 13 of the over, it's 1 for 40. So time for some early spin as Jadeja comes into the attack. So Rajasthan are now in that position where they can accelerate. That 13 of the last over has put them in that pole position. And it will be very interesting as to how
It's
This
20
time,
hours.
Samson pulls and just pulls it casually, and the ball has been deposited into the stands for the third six of the match. It was shot on the pads, and Samson doing what he has been brought again for. As I said yesterday, there are no loyalties in this tournament. You go where the contract is, and they select you if they feel that you have not been given enough respect by that team, or you need a change of scenario. A new team, new opposition, new attitude. This time it's played away. They try to back away, but as I said, if they can get to that 40, between 45, between 6 and 6.5, it will put them in good stead, and this will allow the others to accelerate, and that's exactly what has happened so far. Well, as I said, it's a short ground, it's a small ground. You would feel you are in Delhi and not somewhere in Dubai or Abu Dhabi. Now, this would have been out in any other stadium in the world. This time, Flick beats third man, and now worrying signs for Chennai, as Rajasthan has decided that they have had enough of mucking around. They have decided to throw back a few punches, as it happens in a boxing match, on the pads and neatly played away. And once again, the decision to bowl first might haunt them if Rajasthan get between 165 and 170. As we come to the final ball of the sixth over, this time that's played away, they go for a single and they collect that. 6 overs, 54 for one, as I had predicted. It's time for some spin as consecutive sixes line up the first two balls of the Seventh over, and Rajasthan have now put themselves in a very safe position. The run rate has gone from 6.5 to over 10. Perhaps the fifth or sixth six of the match, taking advantage of the small grounds, the ground which you have in your backyard or in your colleges. That's how small this ground is. Anybody can play like this. And this is where a certain Tendulkar made his legacy in a small ground. And that's why I don't think that's something that is something to be proud of. Anybody can hit, even I can hit a ball. All you have to do is just make sure you have enough muscle in your forearm to do it. This time, that's played away smartly. 14 runs from 5 balls, and that does put the pressure on the fielding team as to why did we, of course, win the toss and decide to bowl first. I'm saying it's going to backfire. But defending a total is not exactly this time. That's played away, ends the over, 7 gone, it's 1 for 68. So last 2 overs, 68 for 1 after 7 overs. But remember, even yesterday, Bangalore were going strong. The other team, Hyderabad, were going strong. All they needed was 1 wicket to change the scenario. So how will the other spinner respond? Will really also go for runs as Piyush Chawla bowls to? Well, Samson says, thank you so much. I have decided to hit you for another 6, and the 6th rain continues. This is smart batting. Last 2.5 overs, they have hit around 12 to the over, and suddenly tremors in the batting side, taking advantage of the small grounds. As I said, you would feel you are in Delhi or your university grounds and not on an international ground, because this would be out in any other ground. Once again, 6 more, the result the same, consecutive 6s by Samson. And this one's on the roof. Well, he's doing what he's been asked to do, coming quickly and scoring those runs. 4 6s of the last 5 balls for Samson. It was wide. And he says, thank you so much for our first match on a small ground. Well, let's not get too excited. They will get to that 160, 170. This time it's cut away for a single, and Sanju Samson has taken the pressure off Steve Smith, and he gets to 50 of 19 balls. Which means the other side can do the same. As someone used to tell me, one side can score certain amount of runs, the other side can also do it. So it's still a 50-50 game. Anything can happen. Wickets can fall at any time, but this is the quickest start we have ever seen in this tournament. Well, if you get small grounds, that's like nearly being dished out freebies. And Smith will play that typical knock where he will take the singles and allow Samson to hit 6s for fun. Small grounds, hit 6s. Big deal. Even a baseball player would be happy with such a ground. So I wouldn't blame the bowler for the kind. This time, third 6 of the over, and that's on the roof again. So the two spinners are now beginning. The last 2 overs, 34 runs. It was the googly or the wrong one. He decides, thank you so much. Floated up. Johnny Bairstow played a similar shot yesterday, but he was bowled. So as I said, it's all a matter of luck. "80 of the 88, 72 of the 88 runs coming in boundaries. What more do you want?" This time cut away that's been played, and that will be a single 21 from the first over of the spinner. And now suddenly it looks as if they are threatening. So it was a no ball. Well, that is something very, very curious. That's pulled away, and that will be another six. 26 of the over. 26 of the over, and Rajasthan are going at 12 to the over at 95 for one. 96 for one, as we are going to take a short break.
It's 2015.
Well, let's get back after the break with Samsung exactly doing what he was recruited for in the third position as they take a single. And for the first time in this tournament, small grounds, sixes being hit for fun, which means the other side has equal potential to do that. As Jadeja bowls to Smith, huge appeal, and the umpire says not out. Will that be height? Will height be a factor as Jadeja is excited? Will they go for the review? A long conversation between the bowler and the captain, and they have decided to rescind the decision to review. Probably height would be a factor. He was on the back foot, and there's hardly any bounce in this ground. He bowls to Smith, and so far 3 balls, 3 runs. Quite over so far, but now comes the guy who everyone is hoping will continue to play those shots. Will Samson continue his 6 hitting spree as Jadeja bowls? And he doesn't. He cuts, misses, and so far a good over. As we see the replay, and of course it was the bowls. Samson says thank you so much. He swings hard, and they will take a single. It was hitting, so is that a decision which they will regret later on? This time he plays it away, and the 100 comes up, the quickest 100 of this tournament of 9 overs, which means every team will want to play here. He could have gone for the review. At best, it would have been umpire's call, but it's those things that go this way or go that way. Therefore, according to me, there should be unlimited reviews so that the bowlers are not under pressure for not looking at how the trajectory was created. It looked like it was missing, but the graphics created by the computer can be so misleading, and therefore there should be unlimited reviews. As Chawla bowls, who went for 28, this time Smith says, thank you so much, another 6, that's 7 balls, 34 runs. And Smith has now decided to join the party. A crucial LBW miss by the fielding team, and he says, thank you so much. Small grounds, free sixes. This time, that's played away. It was wide outside. And a total between 180 and 190 looks so much on the cards. As Chawla bowls to Samson, who says, thank you so much. The second 6 of the over, yes. And Chawla is almost going at 4 runs per ball. That's 6 number 8, possibly for Samson, and he is looking to get the fastest 100 of this tournament. That's cut away, and this time it's a single. Well, the fielding team captain will have to employ someone who will not go for runs, obviously. Who will that bowler be? Well, that is something we won't know for sure. That's cut away, and that's beaten, and that's another huge over for the Rajasthan team. And they are enjoying batting on this ground. And this time we take a single, and after 10 overs, going at 12 runs per over, they are 119 for 1. Still a lot of big hitters to follow. In the last 6 overs, almost 100 runs have been scored, but I wasn't surprised when this happened. Of course, that missed LBW will cost them, which is almost equal to a missed run out. This time, bowls outside, and Sampson says, no, thank you. This time, another 6. They just keep coming. They just don't stop. He moves on to 72 of 28. Well, 200 plus is definitely on the cards, and it will be a tough chase for the fielding team. The decision to bowl first, well, is backfiring. It backfired in the last match. They were lucky enough to escape in that match, the fielding team. But what's happening is happening. Going at 12 runs per over. This time it's played away smartly, and this time it was a wide delivery, and that will be called a wide. Of course, the due factor is coming in, which is almost questionable. But how does a due factor in? This time Smith lays it away for a single. He's doing his job, what he's supposed to do. 10.5 overs, going at nearly 11 runs per over. They have stringed along to 129 for 1. As Sampson says, no run scored, dot ball. So eventually, a good over, 10 of it, in the context of what has been happening. So change of bowling, and the captain is forced to bring back his fast bowlers. It seems as the time for a certain bowler is done. As NGT bowls to Samson. This one it's played, and that was almost a run out, and they go for that overthrow. It means that it will be the fast bowlers who will be in control in this match. But a total of 200, 215 looks on the cards. So 11 and a half overs, 12 runs per over. Remember what happened yesterday when Hyderabad were chasing 160, they collapsed. So will that happen here again? As Samson plays short, wide, and this will be taken. Brilliant catch taken, and will this halt the momentum for Rajasthan? Taken at the extra cover boundary, a brilliant catch taken by the fielder, but this guy has done his job. Once again, short of a length, trying to go hit the ball out of the ground, but a good catch taken at the cover boundary. And will this be that momentum change for the bowling team? Well, we shall know very soon, but it's that much needed individual. Samsonu has done his job in this context. We'll be back after a short break. So we are all in readiness for the final 8 overs of the match. And do we have an appeal for a run out? Yes, he's gone. He is definitely gone. But did his hand hit the stumps first? That will be a decision that needs to be taken. And the third umpire says, yes, the ball was clearly cusped in the hands, and another wicket falls for Rajasthan. And predictably, Chennai, you can say, are back in this match. Miller has to depart for 0 runs, and Rajasthan are a bit under pressure as they were going for the second. It was brilliant throw at the bowler's end and a good pickup. Miller goes without facing a ball 0 of 0. Well, how many times do you see that happening? Chawla come as we see the run out. It was a bit of a confusion as he lost his bat. It was a good one. Chawla comes back and Uttapa comes in at number 5. So he will have to do what Samson did. It was a good pickup and throw. Flat throw. Takes in his hand and attempts the run out. As Chawla bowls to Smith, Smith cuts it away, but will get a single. So let's see how this particular bowler responds with the guy who tormented him for over 40 runs in 2 overs. It will be a very interesting situation. This time it's played away and no run. So the run rate is once again back from 12 to the over to just over 10. And now if it's any indication how this particular sport is played, there will be a bit of a collapse and a bit of a slowdown. As Uttapa swings and there's an appeal for stumping, and has this bowling team decided to, will Uttapa's change of team make a difference coming from Calcutta to Rajasthan, all the way from east to the north? Will that make a difference? He is an opener, but he's coming at number 5, means he has no option but to start hitting every ball for a 6. Well, that's fine. It's not out. The back leg is clearly inside. But it's a dot ball and some relief for this particular spinner. Will Uttapa carry on Samson's work? This time they play it away, and this time it's been a quiet over. This 3 runs means Rajasthan will have to restart this again, because we saw what happened last night. We thought Hyderabad was going well, and suddenly there was a mammoth collapse. I'm still impressed by how Chennai has bowled. Unlike the other teams who are far behind, they have kept up with that over rate. So in over 1 hour, they have bowled 13 overs. They're required to bowl around 14 overs. So they're going with that over rate and they will finish well before time. Another bowling change. Jadeja comes back. So he's trying to finish the spinners before the batters start attacking. And will this be that over where Rajasthan says, let's once again start hitting sixes? Uttapa bowls to Jadeja bowls to Uttapa and they take a single. "41 balls to go. 40. This time Smith cuts and cuts very well, but that's been fielded over there, and it's time for the bowling team to say, well, we won't let you get away. It looked like they would go to get over 200 runs, but they may jog over to 180, 190 is a possibility, or they may collapse. I don't know. Uttapa decides to go, and this will be just a single. That's well, Uttapa is new on the crease. He's under a bit of pressure. That's why he was transferred from Calcutta to Rajasthan. Though I read somewhere that for him it's a debut. How in the world it's a debut? You, you have been playing this tournament for the past 12 years, so it's no longer a debut. As Jadeja bowls wide, in fact, it's a wide. Well, I'm unimpressed by the quality of umpires in this tournament. As Smith decides to take the Airedale route, and this will be a six, and it's a catch dropped at the boundary. An important six in the context of the game. It was wide. Smith says, "Thank you so much." It was Sam Curran on the boundary, and the momentum of the ball took him over the boundary. Well, let's say it's a poor effort. I wouldn't say that. It happens, it happens. You don't feel well, it happens. Let's not make a meal out of it. It's a domestic game. It's not the end of the world for these bowlers. Their performances for their national team eventually makes a difference. This is all fun and games. So let's not see if a team doesn't do well, it's not end of the world for them. But this is how we analyze this. This time Uttapa cuts hard, but it will only be a single. Still 12 of the over. Rajasthan back in the game. It's 149 for 3, and it's time for another timeout, which I do not appreciate. So we come to the end of this timeout. The final over for Chavla. What will he do? Will the batters go after him? Yes, they decide to do that, and he has been taken. So some moment of relief for Chavla, and Uttapa change of teams for him doesn't work out, and the fourth wicket for Chennai, and Chavla says thank you so much. Not that same kind of aggression that was shown by Samson, and it's been taken by a top fielder in the team, Duplessis, low catch. Well, this reminds me of yesterday's collapse for Hyderabad, and I think it's happening now because your top Indian batters have been dismissed. You have another 17-year-old coming who made his debut only last year at the age of 15 and a half. So what will that particular batter do? Because all the pressure is now on Smith. Now it's the all-rounders and what they call the middle order which has come to the field. They can still get to 190, which is always going to happen. But it means that the captain of the bowling team will now employ his fast bowlers. He's done with his spinners who have gone for a lot of runs, but that is how it happens. It's Chawla bowls to Tewatia, who cuts it away for a single, and a lot of pressure on Steve Smith, the captain, to play what one says right through. And Smith plays this to long on. As I said, anything can happen in this sport. You look
It's
excited.
20:45.
You have a partnership. Well, by this time, they should have bowled the 18th over. So once again, they are going to finish 17, 15, 16 minutes late. And once again, I am not impressed. So those two timeouts and couple of ad breaks as Chavla bowls Sotewatia, who plays it away for a single. So in the hindsight, a good over. He's gone for runs, but he's picked a wicket. But if Rajasthan can somehow make it between 180 and 190, you will say Chennai is win-win because Rajasthan were looking for 215. So they have to accelerate now. They have no option but to just go for the full Monty, go for the kill as Smith gets ready, plays it away for a single. So in the context of the match, 5 balls, 4 runs, 1 wicket for a guy who went for nearly 30 runs in an over. In the context of the game, it's well done. Once again, the middle order, no contributions. The top 2 batters scoring nearly more than 90% of the entire total. And that's how, well, let's see what happens. As Chavla will finish his spell, and that plays it away, but only a single, 5 runs and a wicket ends the over 4 for 154. So as we get ready for the last 5 overs, and it's time for the fast bowlers to do the job. The spinners have been pummeled to all parts of the ground. And let's see now how many runs can Rajasthan make in the last 5 overs. 200 will be a good score, but That will be the only big score in this tournament as NGD comes back, bowling to Tewatia, who pulls away, but he will only get 1 run. Pulled away to backward square leg. So tomorrow's match is between Calcutta and Bombay. Very interesting. As Ngedi bowls to Steve Smith. This time Smith tries to go over the top and that's been flicked past third man, ramped away. In his own unique style, Smith gets an important boundary. Over fine leg. In his own unique style, Smith does what he does. A shot which would remind you of a left-handed. He moved across, and the bowler had no chance as he fell. A left-handed Rishabh Pant, you would say. So trying to use all his skills in the last 5 overs. This time it's played very smartly as a total of 200 beckons Rajasthan. "33 balls, perhaps 2 runs per over, 1.5 runs per over. That's what Rajasthan are looking at. Luckily, only 3 matches will be played in Sharjah, or every score would have been over 200, and you would have been saying, wow, flat pitches, small ground, you would have been having that pseudo. And this time, Tewatia goes, he joins the party, and Ngidi has also now decided to say, okay, I will go for runs. 10 of this over, as he smashes this over mid on, over extra cover. It was a slow delivery outside off stump, and he says, all right, I'll join the party. Nothing for me to lose. As Ngidi bowls, this time that's pulled away, and that will fall in the vacant region as they will come for 2 runs. Another expensive over for Chennai, and Rajasthan are more than happy as they possibly get to the highest score in this tournament. So they have broken all records. All the plan of bowling first has been put to rest. The questionable decisions, well, if the chasing team chases it down, the bowling team, you will say it's fine. If they don't, then you'll question it again. As NGD bowls, this time swing and a miss ends the over, 12 of it, 16 gone, 4 for 166. The last 24 balls, the bowlers will be Deepak Chahar, Sam Curran, and Ngidi to do the job. This time, appeal for LBW, and the umpire says, "Thank you so much." So, bit of a relief for the batting team, and they will probably go for a review. They have no option. They will try and do that, but the captain is saying, "You are gone." Well, he says, "Go for the review." At best, it could be umpire's call. It was hit him on his boot and his back pad, and it looked like it was going to crash into off. But let's see what happens. At best, it will be impact in line, wickets hitting. Let's see. It pitches in line. It was almost a yorker. It's hit him on the toe. It will crash into middle and off. No bat involved. Clearly no bat. Even I can see without the sneakometer. It hits him on the toe. That's a yorker. I would have gone into crashing into middle. Pitching in line, wickets hitting. I told you it was crashing into off end leg. Well, they had to go for the review, but now a lot of pressure on Rajasthan. One of the few good decisions that the umpires have taken in this tournament, but a similar collapse that has happened time and time again in this tournament. We saw what happened yesterday. Hyderabad looked in good position, then they started losing wickets. They were hitting the spinners all over the park, and then the wickets were lost. So predictable collapse. So now it's at number 7, another decision as to at what number do they send certain individuals, but you cannot question. There must be a logic. They are, of course, missing Butler and Stokes in this situation. Butler as the opener, Stokes as the all-rounder. And of course, Stokes has taken a long leave of absence due to personal reasons. Butler has to go through that mandatory isolation period as Sam Curran bowls, and this will be another dot ball. So 3 balls, and it seems he's gone. No. If Rajasthan don't get to 200, they will regret this. They will absolutely regret this. As Sam Curran bowls, it's been flicked away, but that's well fielded at the boundary, and they come back for 2 runs. 2s and 3s won't affect the bowling team's situation. As one of the top singles won't be a problem for the bowling team. They still have Steve Smith, but he needs somebody. He needs that Samsung situation to help him. In the last 3-4 overs, they have lost wickets. They haven't accelerated, and without those 140 runs, it's goodbye. That's through third man for 4. So the luck continues. You get a wicket, you smash the next ball for 4. Still, in the context of the match, it's still a good over. Seven of this over so far. As Karan bowls, and is there an edge? Yes, another wicket goes. Rajasthan crumbling, deja vu of what happened yesterday, and now the regret is coming back. The regrets are coming back. What is going on? Where he was trying to edge past the keeper. A good low catch, bit of a juggle, but the keeper collects it. It seems as if this could be the game of fast bowlers and not spinner. Another player doesn't contribute much. This happens so many times. The first two batters do the job. They do 80%, they make 80% of the runs, and then the last five, six people, they get carried away. They're not able to deal with the situation. They are under pressure to carry on this and they get out. On the other hand, if the top two don't contribute and there's a lot of pressure on the number four to number seven again, they're not able to contribute because the first guys didn't do the job. I have seen this happen so many times, time and time again. I've seen this situation fold out. For me, it's nothing new. You could have guessed with your eyes closed that this was going to happen. You could be playing a video game and saying, see, I can do it. This could be a video game because this happens every match, 50 overs, 20 overs, 5 day, 10 day, 2 days, practice matches, whatever you may call it. So the pressure on Smith, whose plan was to bat right through. Steve Smith is joined by his counterpart from England, Tom Curran. Won't be surprised if Sam Curran bowls to Tom Curran. That's how this sport is played. Smith plays past third man, but they will only get a single.
It's 21 hours.
There you go, it's 21 hours and we yet haven't finished. For a moment, I thought he would have finished. "17 balls, how much can they get? Can they get to that 190 and defend that score? Anything is possible right now. As Chahar bowls to Tom Curran and they sneak the single and the umpire says it's a bye. I don't agree with this bye decision because we are too harsh on the team. First of all, let's stop saying that this is a batsman game. Let's not get into that decision. Sometimes you miss, you miss. You can't do anything. Misfield happens, it happens. As the score moves on to 6 for 176 in 17 and a half overs, and are we expecting another familiar collapse which we have seen over the past few days? As Tom Curran gets ready, he's another talented all-rounder like his brother who is playing in the other team. As Chahar bowls, and that's nicely bowled. And the last few overs haven't gone well for Rajasthan. So it's all about strategy. What will the two captains do? One captain says, I will not let you score runs. The other captain says, I will score runs. It's such a simple situation. It looks simple because it is that simple. As we get ready for the fifth ball of the 18th over, Tom Curran plays, misses, appeal for LBW, and he says, you're gone. Was that a catch? No reviews. So he has to go. Wickets crumbling for Rajasthan. They lost the review in the previous over. And once the umpire says, you're gone, it seems as if the two umpires are conferring. So the decision is still on hold as the substitutes walk in and the umpire says, you have to wait. He says, you have to depart. 7 wickets gone and a familiar collapse happening as it happened yesterday. I'm not surprised. Was there an inside edge? Well, the mistake is, was the catch taken? No reviews, then nothing you can do about it, whether it's a good decision or a poor decision. So once again, a team is in good position. They're looking for 200. The other team says, no, 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 no. We won't let you get away so easily. 3 wickets lost in the last 11 balls. They're still waiting for something. They're still waiting. Officially, the batter hasn't walked away. And now the captain is asked of the fielding team is saying if the decision has been taken, no reviews left. So why is that batter waiting? Looks like there is some confusion. They have gone to the third umpire. It's an umpire review, not a player review. They have still decided to confer it. It looked as if the ball didn't hit the thigh pad, and it did not even come in the keeper's glove properly. So it was of a bump ball, but it had taken the. So the decision will be reversed. It was given out. Then the other umpire said, we are conferring and it's not out. So a batter escapes despite the absence of a review. It happens. It happens. A lucky reprieve for the so a bit of a controversy. The umpire says it's out. Then as it happened in the previous match, they have decided to err on the side of caution. They go up because the other umpire says, let's check it once, despite the absence of a player review. And this time it's played away and they will get the single. 18 overs gone. It's 6 for 177. So last 2 overs left. How much can Rajasthan get? Tom Curran is a decent batter. He has an all-rounders capability. It will be Sam Curran bowling to his brother, but it's happened before, and it will continue to happen. It was with Rahul Chahar and Deepak Chahar from Bombay and Chennai. 12 balls. 12 balls, 1.5 runs per ball. Get to that 190 as I predicted earlier. Though Rajasthan might be eating their own words if they regret not getting to 200. Curran says to Curran on the pads, and they will only get 1 run. So Steve Smith has to do something extraordinary to get to that 200. I think this score is good enough. We have seen 160 being defended yesterday. As we see the replay of that controversial decision given out, and then suddenly the umpires say, let's check. As Karan bowls to Steve Smith, Smith decides to flick it away, and this will be taken. It's a huge wicket in the context of the match. Smith played his best, but Apart from the top two batters, nobody else contributed even 10% of the runs. When your top two batters contribute more than 140 runs, 145 runs out of a total of 180, then that's questionable. But this has happened so many times in the past. Collapse happens. Smith departs. That means it will be the number 9 and number 10 who will have to do the job for the team. And can we say that the bowling team has put themselves in a good position? Well, we saw that yesterday. We presume that, but let's not get carried away right now. Well, the small boundaries can work against you if you don't hit cleanly. Smaller boundaries means you need all your muscle power to hit the ball out of the ground. And now it's Jofra Archer who will join Karan to Karan and Yorker, and the ball will go for a boundary. Yorked and beats third man for 4. It was an excellent Yorker. He digs it out, misses the stumps by a whisker, missed by the third man, which was inside the ring. It was Bill Watson, who is now a senior citizen at the age of 39. As the fourth ball of the 19th over, that's played away, pass the bowler to long on, and they will only get 1 run. They get 2 runs, and they have an appeal for a run out, and I think he may be gone. If it's a certain bowler throwing from the long on boundary, you know that's gone. You know who that individual is. So we are going to the third umpire once again, who once again has to be alert for these situations, and Jofra Archer makes it. Just by a whisker, he makes it inside. But a good throw as they get to 1-7 for 184. That's pulled away for a single, but it will not be any runs. They take a single. Okay. I think 185 is already a good score, and it will be difficult for the fielding team. Even if they are 100 in the first 10 overs, it will still not be an easy task to chase. They have come back, one can say that, as Archer decides to go over the top, but they will only get a single. So we are all in for the final over of this match, and once again we are 15 minutes past the cutoff period. The casualness with which they get away for the last 4 matches, bowling 10, 15, 16 minutes, going past the cutoff time, and the zero concern on the faces of the match officials and the individual involved. It means that that the match is not expected to finish in the usual 90 minutes of time. So we get ready for the final over. Archer is another good batter. And the first ball has been carted away for a six, and we see a match official collect the ball and throw it. So will the ball be sanitized? As he backs away and says, "Thank you so much, small boundaries," and final over. So what can Archer do? He is a decent batter, probably better than most bowlers coming in at number 9. As once again, top edge, small boundaries, big bats, powerful muscles, and this one has disappeared out of the ground. So two consecutive sixes by Archer. He's
It's
living up to his
21-15.
name. As one by one, the balls are disappearing with perfect precision. As we wait for the ball, and that was a no ball. So that's added trouble to the bowler. Two sixes plus a no ball. So it's a no ball. So they get 13 runs. It will be a free hit for Archer, living by his name. What will he do? He gets 13 runs from two balls. It's a free hit. Ngidi to Archer. He once again gets in good position. That's high and that's gone. Three in a row, three consecutive sixes, 19 runs, and they have put themselves in a very good position. Have Rajasthan. They have got to that total of 200. Four sixes from this over, 25 runs of three balls. And what will happen now? And he's enjoying himself as they watch the ball sail into the city. Three balls and another no ball. Wow. That's wow. That was a close no ball. So another free hit for Jofra Archer. This will give him a lot of confidence when he comes on to bowl. As NGD bowls, that's another length ball. He swings and misses. The free hit still remains, and they have got. Let's see what happens now. This time he swings and it's swings and misses. 27 runs of the first two balls for the bowling team. Lot of pressure on the bowler now. Can he deliver this now? Because this is already a big total and it looks out of the run chase. Remember in that match between Delhi and Punjab, the last over went for over 30 runs and it changed the complex of the game. And this is and that's why you get out to a good start, a bit of a collapse, and then your number 9 hits sixes for fun as Ngedi will bowl the fourth ball of this over. This time he plays it away for a single. 28 runs, 4 balls, game in the balance of the batting team. It's already a huge score. They will need to score at 11 runs per over. But it's a small ground, so they have a good chance as Tom Curran this time smashes his back to long on. So 29 runs from this over, 26 of which of those couple of wides, no balls. So they're done. So number 9 and 10, number 8 and 9 have done their job, and it's already a very good score. Final ball of the first innings, and we are 20 minutes past the cutoff time. Very, very disappointed. This time Archer swings and they will get only 1 run. Rajasthan saunter on to 7 for 216. And imagine they are 20 minutes past time. Imagine if you get 20 minutes extra in your exams. You wouldn't be allowed that, right? 30 of the final over and the game in the balance of. And this game is firmly with Rajasthan. And if they almost take 2 hours to finish, very, very disappointing. So, well, this ends innings number 1. We'll be back after a short break. You're all ready for the start of the second inning as Chennai have a huge total to chase. They need over 200 runs, 216 runs to win, and it will not be a straightforward chase. It will be a difficult one. So it was a short break as they were already way past time, still 15 minutes past the cutoff time, and then 15 minutes wasted in probably the break. But then the break is fine. But imagine if you get 20 minutes extra in your exams. The invigilator says, all right, you get 2.5 minutes of timeout. Go take your question paper out and get answers from people from outside. Because according to me, timeout is cheating. Once the game begins, there's no need to confer with your teammates. It's practical in basketball because basketball has 4 quarters of 15 minutes each where you expand more energy. So it's acceptable in a game like basketball. You need that break. But in cricket, even during those 190 minutes, there is still a lot of time where you're basically just sitting and doing nothing. So let's see how will a team like Chennai chase a big total. Remember, small grounds will make a difference and spinners will come into play right now. So Watson and Vijay opening, no Raidu. So the pressure is on these two and Duplessis along with Dhoni and Jadhav with a new comer in Gaikwad. Let's see what happens as Unadkat, who has played for a couple of different teams, who is trying to make sure that these performances give him a berth as far as a position in the Indian team is concerned. Let's see if he gets a chance to play. 217, I would say the game right now is in Rajasthan's favor. Chennai will have to do something very special to chase 217. It will be a difficult call and a difficult chase. This time that's flicked away and they get the first runs on the board of a leg by, possibly. No, the umpire says you're fine. No, it's a leg by. It's a single of the bat. Well, I think Jofra Archer will be the difference between the two teams. At pace of Archer bowling at over 93 miles per hour. Steve Smith knows all about it. Archer, who plays for Hobart Hurricanes, whose performance in BBL 17-18 was the reason he was fast tracked into the team and then he was fast tracked into this tournament. I think it will make a difference. Archer's pace of 150 along with a couple of good spinners will make a huge difference as far as this match is concerned. But can they chase? It depends how Watson and Vijay respond. So 2 runs of 2 balls, they need nearly 2 runs per ball. It will be a difficult chase with no Raina and now Raidu taking a break. The chase on 160, but this is almost 50 runs more than that usual score. As once again Vijay gets an opportunity to get on the strike. This time it's played away once again on the pads. Nicely played, and they have scored 3 of 3. Small grounds will tempt the batters to hit out of the ground. But if you don't use your full muscle power, you will be caught at the boundary. Though in the first 5 or 6 overs, as I said, Rajasthan were going slow in the first 4 overs. And then in the next 7, they hit almost 100 runs. This time, that's played away to third man, no runs. Can the chasing team afford to begin slow? Well, they must have thought of something when they've been given a target of almost 11 runs per over, and it will be very difficult. We have seen totals of 160 defended. So how will this total be chased down? Will it be defended? Will it be chased down? What will happen? Well, maybe the decision to bowl first will now be shelved after this match, especially if you're playing in a small ground like Sharjah. Once again on the pads, 4 runs, 5 balls, quiet start. Don't want to get too aggressive. And if you want to win, they have to score at least between 60 and 70 in the first 6 overs, which will allow the individuals on the back, means number 5 to number 8, which means the likes of Piyush Chawla and Sam Curran to come in. Probably Jadeja could be that guy who will be sent up the order, or maybe they won't send Jadeja up the order. They're chasing 220. Let's see what happens. This time they go for a single, but well, that's overthrows and they get those extra runs. First over gone, it's 5-0. The last time a match between these two teams happened, there was a lot of controversy with the no ball situation. This time, no Ben Stokes, so all the pressure is on Jofra Archer, and Jofra Archer will be the difference between the two teams. The first ball bowled by Archer just at a languid pace of, well, the 30 runs of the last over will make a huge difference, showing that Archer has that batting capability. He had already proven himself before, and those 30 runs of the last over will make a huge difference in the context of the match and the tournament. Very similar to what happened when Stoinis smashed the ball all the way out of the park. Vijay drives, and that's nicely fielded. Even Rajasthan have a couple of good fielders. No Stokes, but they have got David Miller in that inner ring, as they call it, in that point cover region. And Archer bowls to Vijay, who decides to go past to third man. So they have decided to start in a languid manner. They can't be hitting every ball out of the park unless it's logical to do so. The run rate now creeping up to almost 11 to the over, means it's 2 runs per ball. It's a simple story. You need 2 runs per ball. It's not going to happen always, but it is 2 runs per ball. As Watson gets ready, defends, no runs. So an excellent start by Archer. Not bowling fast, but bowling good enough to not allow someone like Watson to play it through the offside, because Watson loves room. He even likes playing through the leg, that one knee position. As Watson says, all right, I will now guide it to third man and we will take a single, a quick, risky single taken, a slow start, but a quiet, but most importantly, no wickets. as we get ready for the final ball of the second over.
It's 21:45.
It's 21:45. Archer to Vijay, that's a good delivery, played on the pads, a fast delivery. Two overs completed, it's 8 for no loss, and Chennai need another 209 runs of 108 balls at nearly 1.5 runs per ball. I'm looking forward to see how they do it. This time, Unadkat bowls on the pads and the ball goes away for four. So the first aggressive looking shot by a batter getting into that groove, and Unadkat has been bowling on the pads, and this time, no, this time the fine leg was deep and taking advantage of that fielding position, they get that important boundary. This time Vijay says thank you so much. Consecutive boundaries for Vijay. He is equally a good batter coming in place of Raina. He may get an extended run. He did well in that tournament of 2011 and he's back in the groove, continuing that form. Just the easy flow of the bat on a length beats nobody at mid on, beats long on for four. So a bit of adrenaline pumping in the batter. Can they continue this? This time, slow delivery and they play it, and this will be that's a risky single taken, and they complete that single. It was always going to be a risky single. Communication is paramount in these situations. It was a tough and a risky single, bit of a miscommunication, start stop, and just misses the sums by a whisker. And Vijay knew had the ball hit, he was galloping back to the dugout, to the locker room. And we saw what happened yesterday when two batters collided. You don't want that happening again. It was a full on clothesline, as they call it in wrestling lingo. As Unadkat bowls to Watson, Watson tries to play to third man. It was a no yes call. And did the ball hit the stumps? No, but it was a dot ball. Watson says top edge, misses. It's a wide. It's been called a wide. A huge decision by the umpire in this scenario because it was swatted like you swat flies in our houses, and he completely missed. And probably on the height, the umpires gave the wide. This is what baffles me. How do the umpires decide it's a wide? Have they been given that full authority to take a call depending on the situation? As Watson says, thank you so much, flicked it away, but there's a fielder over there, and this is turning out to be a good over for Chennai so far. And they will try to emulate Rajasthan if Rajasthan decides to bring a fast bowler because do they have that all-rounder option? But let's see, do they have that all-rounder option? We shall know very soon. But Archer might be given 3 overs in this situation. So as Unatkar gets ready, give place to Vijay, straight to point, no runs, 11 of the over, good one for Chennai at 19 for no loss in 3 overs. Well, it's a anything goes match between the top two teams in the tournament. 3-time champion versus first ever 20-over champions. As very soon we will be called into those unnecessary timeouts. It's almost like cheating. 5 minutes of pure cheating. It's fine in football and hockey and such sports, but in cricket, when you're already so languid with time, you have enough time on your hands. I do not see the logic of a timeout. That to 5 precious minutes taken out. As I said, timeouts work well in sports like basketball, hockey, football, even baseball, where it's longer. But why here? That's something that they need to relook. Why timeouts? Even if it's kind of an endorsement. All right, Watson flicked, and that's into the stands. Watson gets into his groove. The first 6 for him, and Chennai have decided to take on Archer. They have decided to give him pound for pound what he did to their fast bowler in Giddy. On the pads, Watson says, "Thank you so much, small grounds. I will gladly take the shot." On the pads, small grounds, over square leg, 6 runs. Thank you very much. Slam blam. This time, appeal for LBW and the umpire says not out. Will they go for the review? Is it sliding down leg? It's Watson. They may risk. They're not sure. They're not looking sure. It's probably going down leg. And remember, they have one review. If they waste this one, yes, they have smartly decided not to review, but it means the ball will be keeping low as it pitches outside, and it was probably umpire's call. Well, let's see what the graphic of the DRS says. The umpire looked uninterested as the run rate is creeping towards 12 to the over. Watson, inside edge, no runs, and that coming back, the keeper hits him flush on the thighs. Remember, it's Watson, it isn't the Flash. Was there an inside edge? There could have been a huge inside edge also. And it was umpire's call. So if there was no inside edge, it was the umpire's call. So in an anything goes match, that's pulled away, not with authority, straight to the fielder. And I think this whole situation that these individuals are playing after a long layoff, as I said yesterday, that long layoff should not be taken as something negative. It should be taken as something positive because everybody recovered. Players got a chance to do whatever kind of training they could do. whatever injuries they had, they were able to recover from that. Yes, a few players decided not to go into this tournament. They backed out as Watson takes a single but no runs. It should be taken as a positive thing, even it was a long layoff. Yes, they did not play any competitive sport, but sometimes it's good because I have heard people complain. I have heard people I've seen pseudo experts say they play throughout the year, they don't get a break. And when they get a nearly a 6 month break, then we say, oh no, there should be no break. They're coming after a long layoff. I don't agree with this. Ends the over, 4 overs gone, 25 for no loss. So it's a 50, it's still in Rajasthan's favor. They are at 70-30 because you have to chase 220. It's never easy. If they pull it off, that's great. But the bowling team also has come with a plan. They will not just allow the batting team to say that just because we hit sixes, we won't allow you to hit sixes. So Rajasthan have introduced a spinner into the game. Will it be a deja vu, just like the spinner of Chennai went for 25-30 runs in his first 2 overs? Will it happen? This time that's short wide, beats the fielder, and the first aggressive shot against a spinner. And this was that free hold which Rajasthan got. And from the fourth over, they decided to go for the full Monty. And so far, Chennai has decided that they will be targeting the spinner. Ben Stokes' absence will cause them, obviously. They will have to rely on spinners and couple of part-timers for taking wickets. Well, let's see what happens. Small grounds, legs, and of course, the predictable dew factor. Let's talk about this thing called dew factor. How does it exactly come into play? What if the dews are happening, and why aren't matches happening more in the daytime? You know dews are happening, and why don't you do something about it? That's played away straight to the fielder, no run so far. This individual has bowled well, 3 balls, 4 runs, so he's staved off the nervousness of a deja vu. As the fourth ball of the fifth over comes into play, will it be a six or will it be out? This time they decide to just take a single, and the run rate has climbed to more than 12 to the over. Means one of these two needs to do what that guy Sanju Samson did. Because they still have Tom Curran, and probably they need one more. Even Steve Smith can bowl if needed, but he will not risk. So can Watson now say enough is enough? Let me do what Steve Smith did. Take the singles, play till the end, even though I am muscular, but I'm not running the way I used to run 10 years ago. I'm still struggling with bit of fitness. Well, 40 in sports lingo, yes, fitness becomes a huge factor as you go into the senior citizens age, as he takes a single but no runs, pressure building. Just 5 of the overs, so the spinner has staved off any nervousness of going for 15-20 runs. You would have expected this would happen because this is where Rajasthan decided to take the plunge. a couple of big hits, and they were on top. Well, Watson says, thank you so much. Down on one knee, and the ball
It's
has
22 hours.
disappeared into the ground, out of the ground, into the car park. Well, but thankfully there are no cars as of now. And the first big over of this second innings. Hello. So this will be the final over before we call off tonight's match, and we can discuss whatever happens tomorrow. Tomorrow will be another match, and this match will be in the past, in history. So whatever happens in this match happens in this match. Whatever happens in this tournament stays in this tournament. So this is the final over of the match, which I will be doing commentary on, and then we will be meeting you tomorrow at 7:30 Indian Standard Time. As Tom Curran gets a ball, first ball bowled, takes a single, 5.1 overs, 37 for no loss. So this is the final ball of tonight's commentary. And the bowlers have started using towels as early as the sixth over. Is this bad news for the bowlers? Why is dew such a huge factor? It often confuses me. It often puts me in a dilemma. Why is this such a conversation? Hot topic. I've never understood dew factor. If dew comes in, then why don't we do something to avoid that in the first place? As the third ball of the sixth over comes into action by Tom Curran to Watson. Watson plays it away and he gets another six. Well, he has decided that he's going to just stand and deliver, not do much of running. 43 for 0, 5.5 overs, just run it just around 7.5 runs per over. And the sixes are coming as they came. Remember, they still have to continuously score like this. Short boundary on the pads over square leg. This would have been out in any ground in the world, but a ground which is the size of a ground in your university, you could call this a university ground. And this is where most of the matches of 80s and 90s were played. That's why no wonder Tendulkar became a legend playing on these grounds. Watson pulls with maximum power. He says yes, using his full flow of the bat. He has decided to take that power play by the scruff of the neck. Once again, on the pads, Watson says, thank you so much. I won't be running. I will be playing hooked away with absolute perfection. In smashes into the scoreboard. Well, Rajasthan doesn't have to worry because there was a bit of a mini collapse before those 30 crucial ones came in the last over. So right now, anything goes. They should be relaxed. They should not panic. It's too early to determine anything. The run rate adjusts under 9 to the over as the fifth ball. Watson plays past third man 4. Wow, this is an excellent batting display, batting maturity. Well, you could stick his feet on the pitch with a glue and he'll still hit you for 4s and 6s. That's how he's playing. He's saying, I'm not running. I'm using my upper body strength to play and I'm going to let my feet relax. Well, at 40, of course, problems happen. You're an all-rounder, back issues happen. So you just use whatever you can. 16 of this over. This time played away for no runs. 6 overs have been completed and it will be time for that uncool timeout. And that's the final commentary session for tonight. I will be seeing you tomorrow. Till then, good night.